Right, apparently we are indeed not dead, we are alive.
Yeah. Well, according to this, it's still waiting for you, and you went live 41 minutes ago.
I don't really. No, that wasn't. That
I
wasn't.
think that was when you set the reminder.
Certainly, shouldn't be any. There shouldn't be any video that's.
Here we go. Yeah, right. It's up. You're on, or we're on.
We're going right. We're good. We're live. Right.
That was a
So,
real professional start, that. Yeah.
can you just imagine if it was BBC? Yeah, it's. Are we live yet? Is this actually on? Going.
There's no way this would be a BBC thing because we're two white heterosexual males, so there's no way they'd have this on there.
Right. Good evening. We apparently have. There's an eye at the top and it says 4. So, good evening. Already a couple of people tuned in. Good evening, Michael and Aero Dion Thorn. Been going long. We've been talking to each other for about 20 minutes, but we've literally just hit the live button.
Yeah, we've been live for a minute.
Yeah. So yeah, you've seen the title, whatever I've called it, the worst film tie-in video games ever. It's the quintessential worst film tie-in game. So what Chris and I have done is we've just racked our brains for some of the worst games. Now I've got to say we went from 4 down to 3. That's not a good sign.
That's my influence that does that.
What we've done is the caveat that we used is we had to. Oh, we're down to 2 now. We had to have actually played the game to include this, because I don't think it's easy to go on to do a Google and have a look and say, oh, that's a crap game. But unless you actually, it's like somebody say to you, what do you think of a film? What do you think of Waterworld? Oh, it's shit. Have you seen it? No. Well, how can you say shit? Well, because that's what everybody else says. You've got to to make it these things real. It's got to be from the bottom up. So yeah, we've come up with, I think, 10 games. Now they're all 16 or 8-bit. I think most of them are actually 8-bit. So what the plan is, I'm going to play one, and Chris and I will just both talk about it and tell you why it's shit and you shouldn't play it. And then you can have a crack. You can play the next one, because I don't see why I should do all the dirty work.
That means I got to endure some of these myself. Yeah, that was a great idea. Yeah.
Oh, anyway, somebody's just said, "Oh, the Kozer's on unsub, Mr. Jensen." I think he's kidding.
Yeah, well, that's the usual response.
Evening, Bob. How you doing, buddy? Wee Bob apparently likes Waterworld. You know what? I haven't actually ever seen it. Is it as bad as people make out?
Oh, I think it is, but yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, I swear it's absolute shite. The problem with it just drags on and on and on, and I just can't be doing with it.
See, that's the thing that I can't be asked with films now. There is no such thing as like an hour and 20 film. They've all got to be like 3 hours long.
Well, I mean, if the film's any good, then I don't really care how long it is. You know, I'll sit there and watch it. With one exception, actually 3 exceptions, because it's the 3 Lord of the Rings films. They just drag on for so long. I've seen them all once, and I have no desire to watch them again.
I've always thought about going back and revisiting them, but I've never really. Well, apparently Michael actually does love you, really. He says.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never had.
I actually find that more uncomfortable than the fact than him unsubbing. But...
Evening, Stephen. How you doing, buddy? I hope you're doing well, mate.
Yeah, you're not going to see V on this list. While I'm here, there's no way V is going to be in a worst list of any kind.
It could come to blows, I think, if we included V, but yeah, we're only going to look at film titles. So anyway, enough of my evening, Milfy. How you doing, mate? Enough of my twaddle. I think we'll just. These are not in any order. I don't think, Chris, are they?
No, there's no point in trying to put them in order. I think if once we get to a particular game, people will realise, yeah, that's the one that they've got penciled in for the worst. But the rest of them, they're all over the place.
Well, I'm just going to. There's one, and you probably know what one it is. It was the third game we mentioned. I'm going to put that as the worst one ever, I think. Right, okay. I'm going to let you kick things off. Do you want me to play that? You play it, because I've never actually played this game.
Okay, I mean, I don't even know what the game is, so...
Oh, it was me that was doing the list. Yeah, and the first game that we're going to pick is Dick Tracy. Now, I know the film's meant to be shit, I don't know, starring Madonna. Bloody hell.
You've chosen me to play this. I thought this was the one we were going to use as number one.
Is it that bad, is it, really? Now, listen, we'll leave that one just now. We'll leave that one just now, right?
Oh, okay.
Right, well, I'll tell you what, I'll kick off with the first one. It's the Evil Dead, and it's on the Commodore 64. So let me just fanny about and try and load this thing up.
All right, you're doing this one, are you?
Yeah, I'll do this one.
Okay, I'm spared. I'm not sorry about that.
No, apologies about the usual fanning about. You'll probably any live stream that I do, that's always par for the course.
Yeah, I'm used to it by now. Yeah.
Right, a wee minute. All games. There we go. It's the third one down. Evil Dead by Palace Software, released in 1984.
There's now two people who have mentioned V.
And one of them wasn't me as well.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll add you as well, so that's three. And I have actually since found somebody who likes the game, so... Oh, God.
You found somebody else?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. There's some weirdo called Panther UK. He did say he actually liked V.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, there you
go. I better watch what I'm saying in future then. We'll do these stream things that we do.
Yeah. Wait till we do the next Sid video. You're going to be 2v1. You ain't got a fucking prayer.
Listen, thanks to anyone that's joined. I mean, this was completely unannounced. I just messaged Chris, as I tend to do. I tend not to give Chris any notice at all. I'll just see what you're up to. Do you fancy jumping into a live stream for half an hour?
Yeah, and that was all the notification I got. So, yeah, I'm sort of winging this quite a bit.
I'd say that's not a bad one, actually. That's one of the better intros, is it not?
Well, it certainly catches the eye, yeah.
Can you actually hear the music in that, by the way, you know?
Sort of, but again, only through your mic.
Right, I'll just turn it down a wee bit then. Yeah, The Evil Dead. Classic film as well. You're a big fan of the Evil Dead films, Chris?
Oh, yeah, yeah, all three of them.
Hang on, I've got to say, I've turned the volume down and I'm also turning you down. Right,
yeah, so a lot of people do that, yeah.
Hang on, there is actually a volume control in the actual... Hang on. It actually helps if you turn it down.
Yeah, actually, yeah, turn it down in the emulator. Yeah, there you go.
You're a fan of Evil Dead?
Yeah, yeah, big fan. I like all three of them.
Brilliant, yeah, great.
I'm a bit of a horror film buff, so and The Evil Dead is one of the best made. So
it's great. I remember seeing that in the pictures and being genuinely terrified. Right, based on the horror movie of the same name, released a year earlier. Oh yeah, right. The film. Yeah, here you take on the role of the film's lead protagonist, Ash. Right, let's batter on. And I mean, I love the film. That's not even. That's actually not. That could be Gene Simmons right enough, couldn't it?
That is the graphical highlight of the game, without question.
Look, who programmed it, Michael J. Fox, no less. What are you doing?
Yeah. Must have been after he had his Parkinson's, by the looks of it.
Right, let's set up the controller. Okay. Yeah. Now, I mean, it's one of the best. It's one of the best horror films of all time, and it should be a fantastic film. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? How could you possibly fail with a game like this? We shall find out.
Yeah, you can fail quite spectacularly, as we're about to see.
The high score saver, infinite lives, no. Infinite energy, no. You know what? This might actually, putting these things on might actually make the game a bit more playable. Activator special feature. No. It's a shame we can't listen to the music because the sound in this... In fact, I'm going to turn it up just for a second to listen to the sound. I'm sure it's quite... I think it's quite good. Oh, hang on. Actually,
it's not that good.
That's sufficiently spooky. Can you hear that?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Right, so yeah, the idea of the game is to... I'll turn the sound down again. The idea of the game, I believe, is to Is it to get the Book of the Dead or something?
Yeah, I mean, put it this way, what the actual cassette inlay told you the idea of the game was and what the actual idea of the game was seem to be two very different things. It seems to be last as long as you can and just hope for the best. As far as I can tell, the Book of the Dead never actually turns up. So
I can't actually imagine anyone actually playing it long enough to actually complete it. Now,
well, that's the other thing.
Now, I mean, looking at the screenshots, I remember seeing the screenshots and thinking this looks really, really good. Right away, as soon as you start playing the game, you can see that was about the scariest bit of it there, yeah. The fact is you cannot walk diagonally, you can only walk up and down, left and right, and it's really, really fiddly. The joystick seems to kind of stop. You move the joystick to the left or right, and sometimes there's a bit of pause. So the actual movement itself is rubbish. From what I gather, I mean, you're trying to bloody hell, it's been lost another life. You can't actually fight back, can you? Or can you pick up any weapons?
Well, yeah, you can pick up weapons, and even though you can't actually see them, you are supposedly doing something to attack them. But you can't actually see you doing any movement.
See, I mean, there's a sword.
Yeah, you go and grab that. So yeah, it's in your inventory.
Oh, I'll get an axe. That's got to be better. I can't pick up the bloody guy.
No, once you've got one, that's it. You're stuck with it. Okay, well you got it anyway. But the other thing is that the weapons all just randomly move around, including the weapons in your inventory. So even though you're carrying something, it will soon just disappear. Yeah. So you want to avoid that cloud. That's the evil sort of spirit thing that's going around and possesses anyone that it touches. So now your friend's coming towards you. You slam the door in his face though, and they're so stupid they don't know how to open the door half the time. It looks like he's managed it though, but now he can't get in anyway.
Now, if you walk up to the wall like I've done and you press it left and right, it won't move. You've got to come away.
Yeah, you got to walk away from it.
Yeah. Now I remember just spending the whole time constantly slamming doors. Shit, I'm just locking myself out. Was that a good thing? I don't know. Maybe.
Well, you're out of the hut again now.
Yeah, so it's there's just really no point to it. It's so damn difficult. The fact that there's not any weapons. I mean, surely a game like this, it's a bloodthirsty game. If they'd given you an axe that you could actually decapitate something or kill the bits, then it would make a lot of sense. I mean, I'm picking up a shovel.
Yeah, there you go. So, yeah, you just killed that one. And that one, and that one, and that one there.
Yeah, and then it'll just randomly disappear. But I mean, look at the scrolling. It's like push scrolling. The scrolling is bloody awful. It's the Commodore 64, for God's sake. It's just utterly pointless. There is no point to the game. I mean, like I said, you constantly, because they're just constantly spawning, aren't they? There's no... As quick as
well, I mean, this is the entire game. This is all you are doing. All that guff, like I say, in the inlay, saying you got to get the Book of the Dead and all that. It never appears. Mm-hmm. So you survived one night. You've just killed one of your friends.
What happened there? So did they turn from baddies back into humans again?
Well, basically, the game has now restarted. So the spirit has come along again, and it looks like it's game over anyway. There you go, you've been spared.
Right, okay, well, great. Type in your name. Right, there we go. We will have one more game.
Well, the book does appear, apparently. Yeah, I remember you're supposed to throw the book in the fire, but, well, I mean, I've never seen the book appear, but I've never lasted long enough to do anything.
Evil there,
yeah. So yeah, you lost the life straight away because it possessed you. If it possesses your friends, then yeah, you can just go around and you know.
So what's the point of this then? Really, just because you can't kill the evil, presumably, can you?
No, not until it's possessed one of your friends there, and then you hack them to pieces.
Right. So really, the whole point of the game is to try and keep the evil out by constantly slamming doors.
Well, yeah, if you close the doors and all that, then yeah, it gives you a chance to last a bit longer.
It's like Night Lord, you've got to be perfectly lined up.
Yeah.
To actually get in. Yeah, it's just bloody so unplayable. I remember buying it, thinking this is going to be great, and I played it about twice, and I just completely gave up. It's just utterly unplayable, and you know, there's no blood and guts. It should be an arcade. It should be an arcade action game. You know, when you consider what the actual film is like, but this is a license that could have been a great game. As it is, it's bloody woeful. It really is.
Yeah.
Have you played it in the Spectrum? Did it come out for the Spectrum?
Well, it must have done. I mean, it looks like a Spectrum game already, so surely there's a Spectrum version of it.
Yeah, so that's a sorry game. So that's the Evil Dead. Okay, right. Next one over to you, Mr. Lacozer, and it's Highlander.
Oh, lucky me!
Is this the C64? I take it we're going to be looking at.
Yeah, let me just fire up my emulator.
You would share the screen.
Yeah, right. Highlander. I reviewed this game years ago. This was something like about the 6th game I covered. So yeah, it's been a while.
According to Colin, he says the book does appear. You grab it and throw it in the fire.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Yeah, and it was after reading that comment actually. So yeah, we're both relying on we're relying on those people watching to actually tell us what we're doing. Right, so let's get the let's get this screen sharing thing done.
I'll need to highlight it. So this is Highlander. Take it away, Mr. L. Why is it bitch?
Why is it? Well, once I get a game underway, yeah, you'll see very quickly why it is. Imagine a barbarian played at about 1/10 of the speed by people who are so morbidly obese they make me look like you, and this is what you get. So here we go. How many players? One. Here we go. And I've got the joystick in the wrong port. All right, so check out the, super fast-paced action, and you have already seen everything that is in this game. This is all it is. It's just endless 2-player, combat a la barbarian, but there's never any sort of visual indication that you are actually hitting with with your sword now.
Just energy, but what's that thing at the bottom? Is that an energy bar at the very, very bottom?
What, the yellow and red? Yeah, that's the health bar, and that's it. Huh?
It was kind of increasing. What did you win there?
Yeah, I actually won.
Right.
Yeah, so the health bar does go up as you sort of recover, but I mean, you're in such a confined space that, well, it's not like you can get away from them actually recover at all. I'll tell you now, all I am doing is the same one move over and over again. I'm not doing any sort of variety of attack moves. And that was how I beat him first time around, and, well, I was doing okay there.
What one are you? Are you in the left or the right?
Yeah, I'm left.
You're the one.
Yeah, the one on the left is McLeod, and the one on the right is Ramirez.
It looks like the one on the right's not got any clothes on apart from a hat and a pair of boots.
Well, yeah, I mean, they've made him sort of pink. Everyone in the game, well, they've given them the sort of same complexion as, I don't know, Warren Beatty in Dick Tracy. So there you go. I wasn't paying any attention to the health bar there, so I had no idea that I was going to win.
So it's actually I want you to do me a favour. I want you to play it, but don't actually look at the screen. So can you actually win without even looking at it?
Okay, right. Right.
How long it takes you to actually.
Right. Okay.
I'm forgetting it's running on your computer.
Right, here we go. So I'm not looking at it. I'm just
you're not even looking. And how many moves have you actually got? Is there like diagonals and?
Yeah, so you've got I think it's 8 attack moves, and I think there are some defensive moves using the diagonal without the fire button pressed down. So I guess, yeah, attack and defense, you've got 14 moves.
You're sitting down, apparently. I don't know what.
Oh, am I? Oh, okay, right. When you sit down, I think you have to push up to sit up again, or stand up again, rather. So, and I'm still not looking at all.
And are you just hammering the fire button here? Yeah.
All I'm basically doing is holding down the fire button and just constantly moving right. That's all I'm doing. So, and I've still not looked at the screen once this go, but I can hear, yeah, I'm taking hits, but I'm also dishing them out. But
Up to tell, I don't know. The energy bar seems to kind of go down and then it jumps up again. I'm not quite sure what's going on.
Yeah, it has like a set time where you will recover some energy after a while, but it never like slows down or speeds up or anything. So the health recovery is a constant, and it does mean that theoretically one go can last for hours.
Oh, you've just lost.
Oh, I lost.
Well,
looks like I lost quite badly that time.
Well, you were sat in your arse for the last 10 minutes there anyway. But
okay.
Aye. So there's no what's the sound? It's a pity we can't have the sound. What is it? Is the sound pretty shite as well?
Well, on the title page, you've got a Martin Galway rendition of what's the Queen song? Kind of Magic, and that is I mean, it's not a bad version. It's not amazing. It's certainly not one of Galway's best, but it's okay. In game, the only audio you get are these occasional sort of like, they sound more like sort of metal clanking sound. It certainly doesn't sound like a sword hitting flesh at all or anything like that. You know, again, it's not Barbarian, and that is it as far as the entire in-game audio goes. You can actually have, you know, different battles. So say this one is McLeod and Ramirez. I forget who the second one is, and then the third one is McLeod against the Kurgan. But to do those, you've got to load the game again completely from scratch, and because there's something like about 3 or 4 copies of the game on the cassette, but that's the only way you can go up against other opponents. You've got to reload the game.
The sprite changes, but the same. The gameplay's
exactly, yeah. And the only difference is the enemy sprite.
Right. I've got a wee a little anecdote about this. I was lucky enough to interview Gary Bracey, who was one of the sort of founders of Ocean Software. I spoke to Gary a couple of years ago, and there was a rumour that this game was deliberately made bad. I can't remember what were the reason for it. It was something to do with so that Ocean didn't have to pay a license fee or something. I can't remember exactly what it was. But if you Google it, there is apparently a rumour that they deliberately made it shit. And I asked Gary that, and he just laughed and said that's completely untrue. He says it was just a shit game. It was intentionally made shit. It was just it was made and it turned out to be shit.
Well, at least he actually admits it was a shit game anyway.
Yeah, he said that there was no way that a company like Ocean would put out a game. I can't remember what the hell it was. I need to Google it. But there was not an urban myth. There was a rumor that they had deliberately made it, and it was so they didn't have to. I don't know. They didn't have to pay some sort of license, some fee or something. I can't remember exactly what it was.
I've not heard it, so yeah.
That would have been actually benefited them if they'd said, yeah, we knew it was shit because we made it shit, but no, it unintentionally was made shit. So yeah, so there we go. That is the mighty Highlander. Right, next one is my shot, I think. This is Cobra. Again by Ocean.
Oh, yeah, you can play this one, that's for sure.
Cheers, I get. Now, I did actually. My mate had a Spectrum. I had a Commodore 64, and we decided that we would both buy each other Cobra. So he got that for the Spectrum, and I got this for the Commodore 64. And as we will see, it's an absolute car crasher game in the. Right, just a bit we kind of get the sound right. Hang on.
And the Spectrum version is so. I've played worse, but the 64 one.
Yeah, it's one thing that always. I better actually share the screen. One thing that always surprised me with like companies like Ocean. Hang on. Turn the sound out. You be quiet. One thing that always surprised me with companies like Ocean was. There we go. Well, not just companies like Ocean, any company, they would always have an idea for a game, and they would say, right, it's based on the film, right, you go and do the Spectrum one, you do the Commodore 64 one, you do the Amstrad one, and they were just basically left to do their own thing. So it turns out that you got a lot of games that were completely different, which I always found quite surprising.
Well, in the case of Cobra, it meant that people who had Spectrums anyway certainly got the better end of the deal. Only just, but.
Well, the funny thing is, I know the Spectrum Cobra is kind of looked upon as one of the best games. I mean, anything by Joffa Smith. I don't know if you're aware of Joffa Smith, Jonathan Smith. No. He did when he sadly passed away. He died about 5 years ago, I think. What did he do? He did Pud, which is his first game. Have you ever seen Commercial Breaks?
Not that I'm aware of.
You never watched Commercial Breaks on YouTube?
No.
Well, you know what? Watch that tomorrow. It's a fantastic. It was a BBC. It was a series called Commercial Breaks, and this one was based around Ocean. It was filmed. It was based around Ocean and Imagine. And as they were actually filming it, they went away for their lunch, and when they came back, they went to get in, and the the liquidators turned up, and they wouldn't let the Imagine guys back in. That's basically, you actually witness the downfall of Imagine software happening.
Right. Okay.
You need to watch it. I'm surprised you've never seen it. It's called Commercial Breaks. You'll find it on YouTube. It's about an hour long. It's pure. It was filmed in, 1984, 1985, probably 1984, I think. It's got some of the footage is obviously, it was current at the time, but it's brilliant. It's really, really good. And you see a young Jonathan or Joffa Smith coming in with his game Pud. And what's his name? What's the name? The main guy from David Ward, Baldy guy from Ocean. You see him talking to him. But Joffa Smith is generally regarded as probably, I don't want to say the best programmer, but pound for pound, he was probably the best because he was able to program. He could get the Spectrum to scroll smoothly, which nobody else was able to do. Well, there's a few guys. Jim Bagley was able to do it. He did his own graphics, and he also did his own sound. So things like Hypersports, if you've never played Hypersports on the Spectrum.
I played the Spectrum version of that one.
Yeah, and it's good. They're all mega playable. What other ones? Green Beret. He did Mikey, which is shit, but that's because the actual game is shit. I spent about an hour last night trying to play Mikey. I was going to do an arcade perfect my arse, and I could not for the life of me figure out.
Why the fuck would you want to cover that game? All you need to know, right, the whole game, including the coin op, is just shit from start to finish. There you go, that's the video done.
Absolutely pointless, totally pointless. But he did that. What else did he program? He did, and it's really good. Kong Strikes Back, which was again.
I know you're a big fan of all the Kong games. I can't say I am, but
it's a good game. It's based on what's it called, Mr. Do's Wild Ride, I think it was called. That was arcade game.
Yeah, isn't it all set on like a big roller coaster or something?
But it's mega playable. But seriously, if you've not seen Commercial Breaks, I mean that to everybody. I'm sure most people have seen it. Even in the ZX, it's a fantastic slice of 1980s computer games. And it says you actually get to witness the downfall of Ocean as it happens. It's quite kind of cringeworthy, but it's definitely worth watching. You'll find that easy. Well, anyway, enough of my waffle. Right, this is Documents to Cobra. Run, stop to continue. Yeah, this was when I'm a big fan of Sylvester Stallone, but he went through this phase where he liked himself too much for my liking.
Yeah, in this film, he really does think the sun shines out of his arse.
Aye. I've not actually seen the film. I think I've started watching. Is that not the one where he was? What's her face? He married her in the end. Bridget Nielsen.
Yeah, Bridget Nielsen. I've only seen about the first, I think it was the first 20 minutes, and I couldn't stomach another second of it. I just had to get it out of my sight.
Sorry, wee Bob's a wee bit distressed that we're hating on Mikey. I'm really quite good at the coin-op and enjoy it. Maybe I had a bad experience at school and enjoy the violence against students and teachers. I don't even know what the idea is behind it. I actually had to watch somebody else playing it, and I think the idea is you've got to kick somebody off the desk and then
you got to bump someone off the desk, and then you sit at the desk and you pick up a heart that appears underneath it, and it's just no. And then the second level is even worse.
you go into some kind of like cloakroom or something, yeah. But I just, even in Vinny, I just couldn't physically figure out what I was doing. I thought this is going to make a real shit arcade perfect my arse. I've got no idea.
Yeah, Mikey is the sort of game you play, and then you think, right, I've got to play something better. I'll put Cobra on.
No, interesting. That actually says it's based on an idea by Joffa Smith. Right, anyway, I'm going to stop talking and crack on with this.
Just to get it over with. So there you go. So yeah, his shipmobile turns up, and then he's just. Why does he walk in such a fucking? I don't know.
Right, am I dead?
Yeah, you've already lost one life.
Right,
you can tell it's based on an American film because the health meter is a hamburger. So yeah. And yeah, that's another life lost. And you're almost dead again.
Pressing up jumps. Can I fire? Why can't I fire? It looks like I've got a gun, but nothing seems to be happening.
I think you've got to pick up the weapons that you're going to be using. So yeah, you've got the knife now.
Right, if I just... Alright, okay. I see, it's getting... There's a guy running about with an axe, and he just kind of levitated above the ground there for a second.
Yeah. And you'll still lose health as you once you've hit them and they're flashing. Yeah, you still lose health that way.
Yeah, let's try again. I'm not overly keen in the graphics.
A bit. That's the closest I've heard anybody say anything positive about the graphics in this game. I mean, they are shite.
It doesn't. It looks a bit namby-pamby for Sylvester Stallone.
He looks like he's wearing skin-tight leggings.
What God, is that bad? I've just killed a young lady, I think.
Yeah, I don't think you're meant to do that.
Yeah, it looks like they've just taken the same sprite. They've used the same sprite for all the enemies apart from the head. I think they've put a pair of sunglasses on. Oh, I've got some bombs now. I've got to say, I've actually probably played this more in the last 2 minutes than I've played in the entire time and I actually bought it. I've played it a couple of times and I thought...
You actually bought this?
Well, as I said, bought it. I got this from my mate for Christmas. Never spoke to him since.
No, I can't say I blame you.
Yeah, I wish we could have the music. I'm going to actually see if I can turn the music up a wee bit.
Well, music is Ben Daglish, and it is by far the best thing about it.
Is it? We've got music. Ah, right, I know that. Is that alright, yeah?
Yep.
Right, we'll give it one more go, right? We need to use the joystick.
Yeah, there's no sound effects in the game, so yeah, you just hear music. Oh, it's crashed. What a shame.
Hey!
Oh, no, here we go. Fuck it.
So you can't... Can you punch somebody?
Yeah, initially that's all you can do is punch people.
It looks like they've just used the drawing, the gun animation as a punch.
Yeah, I mean, it's Dick Tracy syndrome again.
Right, come on. I hate games that you've got to press up to jump, but then that was generally most 8-bit games, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I sort of got used to it, but then back in the day, I generally preferred using keyboard to joystick anyway, so I found it a lot easier.
Yeah. Come on, why can't I get over boxes? Bloody hell, right, one more go, because that was absolutely shit.
Oh, that's a rarity. Something like that absolute shit in Cobra, yeah.
Right, let's try again. See if I can actually... What did I die? It's because
I think it was you hitting the motorcyclist.
It's actually reminding me of a wee bit of Green Beret in the C16. I seem to be dying for no reason, or maybe I am.
I think you're doing Green Beret on the C16 a disservice comparing it to this.
Whilst, see, I notice that when you hit them with a knife, it seems to remove all their clothes.
Well, yeah, they flash, but the thing is, if you touch them while they're flashing, you still lose health. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a hamburger. I think I should go and eat that.
Yeah, so your health meters are now up to maximum. Doesn't stay there for long though.
Well, I've got to say, whilst it's not a good game, it is not as bad as I remember it.
You must have remembered it being really shit then.
I think for me, and I was actually thinking about that the other day there, right? I'm going to turn this down for a second. I think for me, there's been a few games that I've played in the past. Right, I'll just turn that off. There's been a few games that I've played recently that I remember as being absolute shit, and I think this isn't as bad as I remember it. And I think that's probably because we've now reached a stage where graphics are photorealistic. So any game, even in Chris, any game on an 8-bit is going to look dated, and so plus the fact that you're getting games for free as well. So when you look at a crap game that you thought was crap back then, and you look at it now, it doesn't look as crap. Does that make any sense?
Possibly, but I am trying to think of a single game that I hated back then that I now think is, well,
it's
not quite so shite, and I can't think of one.
Aye, no, that's interesting. But so Michael's just saying, looks like you could get good at it if you really wanted to. Well, that's probably easily the furthest I've ever got in that game ever. I think I don't know. I just I turned it off in disgust. One thing that I noticed, I was playing it in an emulator, obviously, and the window is only about that size. It's very, very small. You expand that onto a big telly, and the graphics just get even blockier.
Yeah, well, wait till you see the playback of this. Yeah.
So yeah, that's Cobra. Not as bad as far from a good game. What's your thoughts on it? Still shit?
Yeah, the music is the only good thing about it. Everything else about it is fucking just complete toilet.
But it's not $9.99 good.
That was one Ocean game I didn't bother getting for the music, and the music's okay, but I've heard better. It's certainly not one of Ben Daglish's better tunes.
Yeah. Right, next up. Oh, I don't know what you want to go for. Do you want to do Cool World?
Oh, fucking hell. Okay. Right.
Your choice.
Now, Cool World. Okay, so this is on the Amiga. Now, my Amiga emulator is set up to run full screen. So, yeah, this could be interesting. Actually, I'll tell you what I'll do. I can't even remember if this now runs on the 500 or if I have to do it on the 1200. Are you
still using that bit of software that I gave you, whatever it was? I can't remember.
I don't use it all the time because some stuff just doesn't want to know with it. So let's see if I can find where the fuck am I?
Right, well, the coder's looking for that game. How are we all? We're all staying safe. I hope we're all doing okay. Bloody typical, eh? We're in the middle of a lockdown and the weather is beautiful. I mean, why couldn't we have had the lockdown 4 months ago when the weather was shit? Could you actually imagine if we had this over Christmas? That'd be mental.
It would have made a lot of difference to me, actually,
No,
because
no,
I stay
no,
in most of the time over Christmas. So, yeah.
Well, the kids, Santa's self-isolating. The high category lift. Yeah, no, I know it's bloody crap, the fact that the weather's so good. So
Right.
yeah, we're all doing okay. How are you getting on with that game? You found it yet?
Unfortunately, yes.
Right, I'll let you take this one away.
Right, let's just let's do the full screen thing. So hang on, no, right, let's do the screen share.
So this might blank us out. Oh, there we go.
Right. So well, it's still loading. So
this is when you AE. How do you find that?
I don't mind it. It's not as you know, what's the word? It's not as difficult as it first looks. You look at it and you think, oh fucking hell, what are you supposed to do with all this? But actually, it's not so bad.
I think it's. I mean, if it works, then you're better just leaving well alone, aren't you?
Yeah, well, that FSUAE thing that you sent me, I mean, that's really just a front end for the WinUAE program anyway.
Mm-hmm. I like that because it does kind of take care of all the. In fact, it was Panther that gave it to me, so you can thank.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
So you get this, really inspiring and thrilling intro sequence.
I can't even remember if I've seen the film. I don't think I have.
So then you get the crappy dancing thing. You'll notice there are occasions where she actually has 4 arms.
You see that actually.
So there are times when she actually has 6 limbs, which means what you're seeing is a dancing insect.
Was that the one with Kim Basinger? Was it?
Yeah, that's it. Mm-hmm. And I'm frantically pressing everything to try and escape from it, but no, I can't get out of this fucking intro sequence. Ah, fucking come on. Hang on, fire button. There we go.
Oh, there we go. Up and down.
Fucking changed this. This is one of my biggest pet hates when it comes to Amiga games. This is a game that comes on 2 discs, but it does not use a second disk drive. It only uses the internal. I hate it when games do that.
Why is it asking for the second disc after literally it's just loaded in the title screen, eh?
Yeah, the first disc is better, is basically just that intro sequence. The actual game itself is on the second disc.
So when did this film come out? Was it an 80s? It would be an 80s film, was it?
I think it was early 90s. The film really is an absolute shit pile. In a way, this game is an excellent film, tie-in game because it's every bit as shit as the film was.
So a fairly accurate representation. 1992. There you go. Paramount.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I think the film came out around either 1991 or something like that. So anyway, here we are in the game. Now, this has very little to actually do with the film. So yeah, I've had this fucking cartoon telephone thing has just caught up with me. Anyway, what he's basically telling me is I have to get enough of these coins, which you'll see cropping up occasionally. There you go, these things here. So I've just got to keep shooting everything until I have enough coins to enter the actual main level, which is here. So I need 50 of them, and I can't remember how many I've got. I've got 10, right? So yeah, I've got to get plenty more.
Is that the black things? Right, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Well, is it the black things that you're picking up? Right,
yeah.
So you get 1.
Right. So how many do I need?
Would do me a favour, Chris, to move that mouse pointer out the road.
Right, okay.
How about?
Yeah, see, it keeps coming back into the centre. Hang on, all right, here we go. All right. fucking... Right, that's as far as I can move it, otherwise it just keeps coming back. Right, oh, fucking hell, all my nickels have gone down, so I need to get, I need, what was it, 50 to get in? I think it said 50.
50, Jesus.
Yeah,
Oh, you're almost up to there.
Yeah, right, so here we go.
55.
Right, so we can now get into the main level. Now, what you're actually doing here is you've got to make sure that stuff that comes from like the cartoon world stays in the cartoon world here, and the stuff that is from the real world actually gets taken back to the real world. So this there you go, that like vortex thing, that takes you to the real world here. You'll see that there are all these cartoon characters all around.
Okay.
Right, you've got to shoot them so that they are trapped in this bubble. And then, right, where are they now?
Was this on the C64 as well? Do you know?
I have no idea actually.
There we go. Robert Mitchell has said, "Evening all. I'm sure this is on the C64 too. Luckily, I haven't played either version."
Yeah,
you don't have to.
So right, so I've caught one of them. There you go, and then you draw them into the pen like so, and then you go back to the cartoon world. And right, there's no actual set number of these that you have to do. You notice right at the bottom there's that time limit in the bottom right. So it's 3:41.
Yeah, 3:40. Right? Yeah.
To get through a level, you've just got to keep playing it until that reaches 0. And that's how you complete a level. I'm not joking. That is the only way to actually complete levels. So you haven't actually been given an actual objective to complete in order to get through it.
So it's just basically survive until the time limit?
Yeah. So you can, theoretically, find somewhere safe. So let's say, we'll grab that. So head over here. Right, so you can theoretically just stand there and do absolutely fuck all, and you will complete the level. I mean, how's that for game design, eh?
The sad thing is, I mean, it's graphically, it's actually quite nice. If you look at it's not bad. It's just the graphics are actually quite nice. It's just the fact that they've made a complete arse of the gameplay.
Well, the gameplay just seems like a total afterthought. To me, the whole thing is basically, let's find some excuse to have that Kim Basinger character at the start, doing that fucking dance, and people will buy it. And the really sad thing is, people did buy it for that reason. Yeah. And that was the only reason people bought it, was to see that. You think, how sad are these cunts that want to look, want to see this fucking Kim Basinger cartoon dancing around, I mean, for fuck's sake.
Didn't stop me buying Sam Fox strip poker, but anyway.
Well, I bought Maria's Christmas box on the Amiga, so, I was just as guilty there.
But that's the thing about film tie-ins. They're selling a game based on the film. I mean, and it's one we've not even included, one of the greatest films ever made is Back to the Future. And yet there's never been a good game based on that film.
I've never played any of the games based on the films, because
the only one that's kind of worth playing, I didn't play it for very long, is it Telltale Games on Steam?
I've
Walking Dead.
No idea.
It's like kind of cartoony. It looks quite good, but
yeah, I'm not too familiar now. The Walking Dead is not one that really grabs my interest, so I didn't worry about it too much. Oh dear, the imbalance was too great, and so I lost a life, but I'm still able to carry on going. I mean, I think the point has been made, isn't it? Do I really have to carry on playing this fucking thing?
So you move on to the next level once
that timer runs out. So I've still got a minute to go of this fucking shit fucking piss boring game. I mean, I did a review of this a while ago, and I'm still recovering from it now.
It's a shame. I mean, graphically wise, it's quite nice. It's nice and colourful. Even the animation's not too bad, but it's just the gameplay is utterly pointless.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
The gameplay just, well, it's like they had no idea how to do it. I mean, trust me, the film, as shit as it is, bears no fucking resemblance to what you're seeing in this game at all. The characters are recognisable, and that is it, you know. The actual gameplay itself is just absolutely fuck all to do with the film.
It's one of these games. I think they've just tried to throw as many fancy looking graphics because like the sprites do look nice, and they've completely omitted any gameplay, which is a shame.
Yeah,
probably could have been quite a nice game. Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, creating a game on Core World was always, you know, they're always going to be onto a loser. I've had enough of that. I'm leaving that.
Yeah. I think you've tortured quite enough. Right, so that's Cool World. Right, okay, it's my turn, I suppose. Right, I've never actually played this, but I've heard it's meant to be shit. And it's Terminator 2, specifically on the Amiga.
I've never played this one either, so
no,
this is a new one on me.
Game that I've heard is meant to be absolute crap. Now I know we did say that we should have played the games, but this is one that we've kind of missed out. So
I didn't even know this was on the list. So this is a very new one to me.
Right. Okay. Game-based Amiga. What's it called? Terminator 2. I mean, it's obviously one of the really good, one of the best film of the 90s. Not as good as the original, in my opinion, but still a good film. Were you a fan of
Terminator 2? I liked the first one. I wasn't big on the second one.
Yeah, I know. I did. I mean, I liked the second one, but I thought that
my big problem with Terminator 2, the film, is everyone keeps banging on about how great the special effects in it are. The problem is, nobody thought the special effects were as good as the director or whoever it was who actually did the special effects.
James Cameron, was it?
Yeah. Oh, I can't stand that cunt either. But see, because all of the scenes where the special effects are there, it dwells on it for fucking ages. Like, yeah, that scene when John Connor and the Terminator phone up his foster parents, and of course the Terminator has already taken over the appearance of his foster mum, and you know, and she stabs his foster dad while she's on the phone to him, and then it cuts to, you know, where she's showing, you know, her arm, and she's just staring at it. You know, it's like, look at my arm, it's been changed into this blade. Look at it, look at the arm, look at the special effects. And it's like, yeah, okay, we get the fucking message, you know, but it dwells on it for so long, and it does that for every single scene where the effects are you know, playing a major part. And I detest it for that.
I know what you mean. I mean, it was I'm going to be saying, I'm just looking to get this right. Terminator 2. Start. Let's see if this is going to run. I very, very rarely run any emulators on. Right, hang on a second. F12. Turn that down. Move that there. Right. Oh, hang on.
Panther UK, I wish Lucosa would stop holding back here what he says. You know, the really sad thing is, I do hold an awful lot back.
Trust me, he does. If you've watched some more of his videos. Right, wait a minute. How can we get this going? So, main Meister screen, and I want to... Right, how do I pick? Wait a minute, I'll need to delete that. Right. Share screen, and we want an application video, and it's going to be this. Right, can you see that all right? Yeah.
Yep.
I can't turn the sound down, but can you actually hear the sound?
Yeah, I can hear it. It's not super loud, but that's okay. You got a mouse cursor in the middle of the screen. You may want to move that out of the way.
How do I move it? Because it's not actually on the emulator.
Yeah, I know. That was the problem I had with Cool World.
Right, bollocks. We'll just leave it where it is.
Okay, so we've got a mouse cursor in the middle of the game.
It'll probably have to be reloaded. Oh, hang on. Look at the effects.
Yeah, see, it's perfect replica of the film. Just look at our effects. Come on, look at them. Don't bother about it. Just stare at the effects because they're fucking amazing. You think, what about the storyline? As weird as it is, I go and see a film because I want to see a decent story in front of us. But no.
Wait a minute, I'll need to restart this because I'll need to restart it and then play game again. We'll try again because I had my joystick had switched off. Hopefully this will work. Terminator, TER, Terminator 2, Judgment Day. And then I need to add. Is that appeared in the stream yet, or I need to add it in again? I think I need to share screen.
Yeah, it's not there at the moment.
Application video. There we go. Right, hopefully this will work now.
We hope.
I don't know if you can actually skip this.
Try the fire button or mouse button.
Press fire. Oh, well, it's quiet now, which is. Oh, here we go. Right, okay. So, I mean, what? Jesus. Right, I'm playing Arnold Schwarzenegger on the left. Impressive looking visuals.
Is this it? Is it just the?
No, I think there is actually other things. Right. I mean, I'm holding left, pressing fire does nothing. Pressing right, and just hammering the fire button does that. Pressing up with fire button does nothing. Pressing down with fire button does that. And he punches the floor for whatever reason. So it's kind of Highlander syndrome, I think.
Yeah. I've already seen enough of this. Fucking what is this?
It does look nice though. I mean, the actual hand-drawn graphics are nice.
So you only get one life?
It looks like it, but we need to go in again, I think. I'm going to actually not look at the screen just to see if we can complete it.
Okay. All right.
I'm just holding it to the right and I'm just hammering the fire button.
Alright, okay.
Well, I can watch the screen, but I'm not. All I'm doing is holding. I've got the joystick held to the right, and I'm just constantly hitting the fire button. I'm doing nothing else.
There's a little comments here. One from Erodian. Looks like that advert where He-Man and Skeletor start dancing together. Actually, it does look more like they are dancing than anything else. I mean, at no point do they actually look like there's any sort of physical threat to anyone.
There's no other moves. Oh, wait a minute, did I? No, that's it. That is it.
You can either punch or you can kick.
Yeah, it looks like I'll put the head in them as well.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you can do the old Glasgow kiss as well.
I'm keen to see what level 2 looks like. See if it's as bad as us.
Well, it can't be worse. It has that going for it.
Now, if they turn this into some sort of like Year Kung Fu where you can jump about and have multiple levels, it would actually be quite a good game. But it's just, again, it's graphics over substance, I think.
Yeah.
Right,
you're on to the second level, but your health meter hasn't been reset, so...
It's game over.
Yeah.
Have I got a high score or have I hell? Right, do we want to play it again? I don't think we do. Yeah.
Yeah, this absolutely deserves its place on this list.
It's a shame. It could have been so much better. I mean, again, what was the game we're talking about? It could have been Evil Dead. I mean, Terminator 2, it's just begging to be a really, really good game. How did we come out of that? There we go.
Yeah.
It could have been a great game if they just implemented more moves, you could jump about and that kind of stuff. I mean, look at something like Year Kung Fu in the C64. That proves that you can get a decent fighting game with a single joystick and one fire button.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of Yi Kung Fu, but let's face it, it's fucking better than that was.
So yeah, a rather poor game. Terminator 2. Right, any choice what you want next?
You've got the list in front of you, so yeah. Well, you sprung Cool World on me, so let's see what other monstrosity you're going to put me through this time.
Right, we'll sticking with Arnie. We'll go for the Running Man.
Oh, fuck.
Was that a C64 one or was that an Amiga one again?
Yeah, it's a C64.
Is it? The Running Man's not a bad game, not a bad film actually.
I've never seen it all the way through.
Have you not? No,
I'm not a big fan of. Actually, I'm not a big fan of Stephen King in general, but yeah, when it's not his horror.
Was that a Stephen King book? The Running Man?
Yeah.
Was it really? I didn't realise that.
I know he wrote it under another pen name. I think he always does whenever it's something that's not horror, but I can't remember what his pen name was. Maybe someone in the comments can. I
didn't know that. Because you'll be telling me Rob Hubbard programmed the theme tune to Commando in one night the next day.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's as believable as that. Oh, great. I've still got my disc image of the Running Man, so here we go.
Like I says, guys, there's possibly other howlers out there that we're not aware of. I mean, we've primarily stuck to the C64 and Amiga, and there's probably some pretty bad games out there, but we've just really gone by the ones that we're kind of aware of.
Yeah.
Wee Bob saying Richard Bachman. Oh, is that his
name? Was that his pen name then when he wrote?
Right.
Yeah, when he wrote the Running Man. So, okay. All right, let's just get this started up.
Panther UK says, Stephen, you can polish it, but it's still a turd. Wee Bob is saying a brilliant book. Stephen Thornburg's agreeing. Wee Bob saying same as he wrote the Shawshank Redemption. Right, yeah, that was Stephen King as well. Was that written for a pseudonym as well, I think?
Right, so I've got this up.
Sorry, I'm completely.
Yeah, you want to share this absolute horse shit? I mean, believe me, I don't think anyone will be too sorry if you don't share it. Right. Alright, okay, I've got to switch joysticks around.
How come the top of your WinVice is green? Is that something the way your Windows is set up? Or
yeah, that's just how I've got Windows 10 set up. Right, and score reset. There we go. I thought it had already loaded, but no. Right,
Ben.
you ready?
Of course, Ben. That was the name of the guy. That was his character, I think. Eh?
Yeah. All right, let's. Here we go. So if you kick the dog twice, that's it. It's gone. I'm trying to remember what it is you press to get it to actually run. Here we go. The biggest challenge of the game by a mile is
turn it off.
The second biggest challenge then is actually trying to get the grips with the fucking controls, because just jumping is such a tedious fucking.
Is it up diagonally or is it like?
Oh, it is, but you jump up and then he slips off it again, and so you go closer, and then you're too close and you just bump off it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing that always annoys me. Even modern games where something that you do in real life, if you go to pick up something, if you see a sword on the ground, you go and you pick it up and you walk on. Some games you end up walking round and round in circles trying to pick the thing up. That should be a challenge. Something that's easy, and the same as like jumping up a 6-inch step here should not be a challenge.
I mean. You can easily step up this, but no, you've got to jump it, and that means And it's about to get even worse because I've got to now, after I eventually get up here, you've got to then... Oh, fucking come on.
I'm tempted to have a go at this after you just to see if you're absolutely shit at this or is it is genuinely impossible.
Yeah, it is just genuinely this badly done. What's the comment here? Wee Bob. I feel like we have completed the game just by reaching that first platform. Yeah, that's how you feel when you play it. As bad as it looks, it's never as bad as when you are actually playing the fucking thing. Come on.
Dearie me. And this is just at the very, very start of the game. I take
it. Yeah. So the biggest challenge is trying to overcome the control method. And I reviewed this game a while ago, and by the looks of it, I made the game look easier than it actually is because I wasn't struggling this fucking bad. Come on.
Like I'm going to load it up, and then I'm going to have a shot. What's the name of the game again? The Running Man.
This is fucking shitstorm.
Is it the Running Man?
Yeah, I mean I've got it just as Running Man in my playlist.
Running.
Oh come on!
I can't actually find it. The Running Man Grand Slam Entertainment. There we go. Right, I'll load it up and I'll put you to shame. Probably not.
Well, I mean, I've been defeated by this small ledge here, so it shouldn't be too difficult to get further than I have.
Right. Well, okay. Right. That's me. What I'll do is I'll load it up and then we'll flick to me and see if I can, just put this theory to the test. Well, flick to me for a second, right? I don't know if we can we share another screen possibly?
Well, I was wondering actually, can we have two shared screens going at the same time?
No,
right, it's gone to you.
Right, well, I'll give it a go.
Right, okay. Does that mean I can now turn my one off?
You can turn yours off just now, right?
Fucking right, done.
You didn't hang about. Wait a minute, is that not a different version?
No, this is all the same as mine. I just didn't have mine shared at the time when I put this up.
Also available from Grand Slam, right? Whatever. Right, there we go. Right,
so let's check out some of these comments while you're enduring this shite.
The young ones, no, dearie me, yeah, that was a bloody awful game.
Stephen Thomas, C64's A View to a Kill, I think is the worst film-based game I've played. I always get like the Bond films mixed up. I thought that The Living Daylights was the worst one, but now thinking about it, yeah, I think View to a Kill was worse than Living Daylights.
So that's the dog dead. Oh,
no, you got to kick him twice.
Fuck off.
Right, so now he's gone, but yeah, then another one just comes along.
I think I must have put on a harder level than you, right? You stay down. He keeps coming back to life.
Yeah, once you kicked him the second time, that should be it. Yeah,
right, is that him, you think?
Yeah. Right, where are we? Fancy UK. Alvida's Aim Pet, Grange Hill, and Give My Regards to Broad Street are a few tie-ins that are really cack. One of those is on this list.
Right, so up. Oh, wait a minute, right. So just pressing up, can you make some? I think I maybe sussed it. Yeah, you actually just stand next to it and then press directly up. Okay.
And then he's
and then he falls back down again.
Okay, so you got it that time.
I was pressing diagonally, so I think it might be that you've just got to press it up. Right, is this the bit you couldn't get up?
I got up that first one. Yeah, this is where I was defeated by the mighty ledge. There you go. So you made it on the second fucking.
So that's you basically stand still and then just press it directly up.
Right. Okay, and then you fall straight in. Yeah, there you go. And then it puts you right back to the start of the level because it's good like that.
Kill the dog. I've got to say we don't condone any cruelty to animals in this channel, but killing little shit dogs like that doesn't count.
I do condone cruelty to anybody who was responsible for producing this game. I heartily condone that.
Torturing our poor viewers who actually watching this.
Have we actually got any viewers left after?
I don't know actually what's the fact that we're playing these games. People are actually watching us playing these games.
Erodian Thorn, like Lucosa, is ever going to play this again ever in his life. I thought once I had done the review of this, which say I did years ago, I thought that's it. I'm never going anywhere near it again. And here we are, you know.
Well, I've got to say, I mean, it's called The Running Man. I mean, there's not a lot of running going on here.
No, that's it. The Running Man gives you the impression of sort of like somewhat fast-paced, and the game crawls along even when he is actually running.
Yeah. Enough of that shit. That is woeful, to say the least.
Yeah.
Right, it's your turn. No, it's my turn, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Bollocks. Right, okay. Right, I'm going to leave that next one for you because I've got no idea. Right, well,
sounds ominous.
we may as well get the last Arnold Schwarzenegger one out of the way, and this is Red Heat, which I've never actually seen. Was that the one with James Belushi? I think it was,
Yes, yeah, it was.
I know it wasn't. It was set in Russia or something, wasn't it?
It's another one where I only saw it for about, I think I saw the first 10 minutes of it, and I just thought, yeah, I've seen enough of this.
Right, Red Heat, Ocean, there we go. It's got the most horrendous looking loading screen as well, so hopefully we can actually... Right, play.
I mean, I guess I better get this out of the way first of all. The first level is one of the most homoerotic games I've ever seen. So, and I've seen
really, yeah.
and I've seen Stroker. So you know, yeah.
Right, share screen. Let's see, application window.
Stephen Thornburg, they had some nerve charging full price for that. If you're talking about The Running Man, I have a horrible feeling they actually charged more than full price. It wasn't a 10 quid game. I think they wanted 14 or 15 for that.
Yeah,
for The Running Man, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. So they actually charged a 50% premium for that fucking shit.
Infinite energy. No. Special effects. I remember them. Yeah, I can't remember what other games they did. But
they did Firefly and
that's what it was. Firefly. That's
and Hysteria. I think Hysteria was the first game they did.
Right. Okay. Right.
So I think the music for this is by Fred Gray, and it's not one of his better pieces, I have to say, because there's not a lot to it.
I'll turn up the sound a wee bit and just see if I can get some sound. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it.
I don't think it starts until you're in the game.
Right, okay. Right, let's go.
Oh, you've got sound effects selected, so...
Oh, have I?
So right. they get away by... they get away from doing a lot of animation by just having the top halves of each people, appearing. But,
so that is actually it. So they've tried to, they've used a clever technique. So you're only getting half the graphics.
Well, I don't think they bothered rendering anything underneath the that border.
Yeah.
Where it looks really dodgy is when they get close, pull down to duck.
Right. Okay. I'll try now.
Now, yeah. Now, what the fuck does that look like? They did not think that one through, I don't.
Is that how the film starts, is it?
I think this might explain why I've not seen the film all the way through. After 10 minutes, I don't want to get to that scene. It's bad enough seeing the film Brown Bunny, and that was a fucking woman supposedly doing it. But there you go. Yeah.
You're in a steam room apparently. Then is that?
Yeah. But yeah, this is it. And I think, okay, like the graphics change between levels, but the levels actually play identically.
It's kind of like a poor man's Kung Fu Master.
It's a poor man's something, all right.
Try explaining this to your mum when she walked into your bedroom, eh?
It was bad enough, you know, if you were playing something like, you know, Hypersports or whatever, and your mum walked in. But I mean, if you were, it's a good job there is no joystick waggling in this game, because you know you got caught doing that, and you see that on the screen, and she is going to start to wonder about it.
The thing that annoys me about this game, like a lot of these games, is why do they only use? Oh, what's that? Why do they only use like a third of the screen?
Yeah, especially as Silent Panther has just mentioned here. A lot of the screen is taken up with the huge fucking logo telling you the name of the game that you're playing. I know what the game's called. I fucking bought it.
Can you imagine if a film was like that? You only had 1/3 of the screen. You had the name of the film at the very bottom.
Well, I can think of quite a few films where that would have been a godsend. You know, I watched Rise of Skywalker a couple of weeks ago. Now that's a film that really could have done with that. You know,
what was that called, Chris?
The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh yeah. You said about them the better, I think. The least said about these, like the newer films, the better, I think.
Yeah,
definitely. Right, anyway, that is absolute pants. I've got no idea. Is there actually another level? Do we see any other level?
Well, yeah, there is another level, and the backgrounds change, but the gameplay is exactly the same. You've seen all the gameplay there is.
I mean, that really feels like the film. Not that I've seen the film, but I can't imagine the film would be that uninteresting.
I was say, if the film is as interesting as that game, then it would be coma-inducing, you know.
Yeah, thankfully that one's over. That was Red Heat. Right, we've got a few more to go. Right, over to you, Mr. L. Do you want an Amiga one or do you want a C64 one?
Oh, well, whatever one it's going to be, it's going to be something fucking awful. So
yeah, you picked the Days of Thunder.
Oh, fucking yeah, okay.
Now, to be fair, the film is shit as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, in some ways you could say that the game is a great film tie-in because it's every bit as shit as the film was.
Was that Show Me Heaven, was it? Was that Daisy Thunder?
Oh, fuck knows. I don't know about... if it's film soundtracks and it's like a classical soundtrack, then yeah, I might have some idea. But if it's, one of those shitty pop songs that gets released purely to be played at the end of a film, then yeah, forget it.
Mr. Fonber saying Lacosa's rants are one of the things that make my monthly internet fee worth every penny.
Fucking hell, that's...
People love you, mate.
You have my sympathies.
We do try to entertain Stephen, even if it's not always intentional. But Daisy Thunder. Chris is saying Daisy Thunder. What a nice freebie from Commodore with my 8500. That's right. That was a free game.
Yeah, it's about the only way they could, give it away. People would actually own it. They had to give it away.
Oh, sorry, I'm just noticed you've actually got it there. I don't want to see it.
Yeah, I've only just...
I thought you were stalling so that I was going to have to play it instead, but...
Well, you're putting ideas in my head there.
Released on the 13th of September 1990. Believe me, that was, 30 years ago.
Yeah, and games have actually improved since then. They couldn't have got much fucking worse.
Do we still get game tie-ins for films? Is that still a thing?
I don't think there was... I'm probably the worst person to ask, actually, because the last time a new game came along and I was interested in it was when I first heard about MechWarrior 5, and that's about a year old now, so yeah...
Right, I don't think. Does anyone else know? Do you still get games based on films? I can't actually think. I mean, I don't buy really new games at all. No, I don't think you do. Maybe you do. No idea. Right, here we are. Daisy Thunder.
Yeah.
Music by David Whittaker. It's a pity we can't hear the sound, eh? Not to worry.
It's not one of his better ones. Right. I don't know where the mouse cursor is because I've got my display here just over the top of the the rest of the screen. So
yeah,
right.
we Bob saying apparently there are lots of film tie-ins these days. Thing is, there's not what kind of big films do you get nowadays? I mean, that would really be films. I mean, you've obviously got your Marvel and all that kind of stuff, but Spider-Man films.
Well, I know there are plenty of Spider-Man games and Batman games and what have you. Wee Bob Lego games. I don't mind some Lego games. I've got
actually not bad.
a few of them, yeah. So yeah, the Lego ones, yeah, they're okay. Right, let's get this fucking
Tron Legacy. Oh, let's not mention Tron.
I've just realised. Right, there we go. I can get rid of the mouse. Right. Here we are then on the qualifying lap. Look at the sheer speed of this fucking thing.
It looks like you're piloting a bloody a 747 rather than driving a car.
Well, see, I'm supposed to be in a NASCAR, which averages about, what is it? They got to be averaging like 200 on the lap. I've now got to change down gear, which is a thankless task. But yeah, these things are supposed to be doing like about 200 odd mile an hour on the lap. Now it's supposed to average something in the region of about 180 something on the lap, and it looks like I'm just crawling along. As far as I can tell, I was going full speed there. Now I really am crawling along because I've got
So is this like a practice lap or something, or are you qualifying?
I think this is me qualifying for the race. I think we can safely say I'm back of the grid.
Yeah, look how slow the thing's going, eh?
Yeah.
The thing is, Amiga was well capable of. Did Amiga not have what was that? Indy 500, I think it was, and that was quite a fast game.
That was fantastic. That game.
Was a great game.
And then on the other extreme you got this. So that first lap was so bad, and Downers failed to qualify. So let's try here. No, fucking hit the barrier again. All right. I'm determined to actually get a qualifying lap. And if you think this is slow, and let's face it, you do, wait until you actually see the race, because of course you've got other cars on the track then, and the thing slows down even more. And remember, this was bundled with, free with Amigas. So, people were buying Amigas, and this was, a lot of the time, the first game they played. They were probably thinking, well, that was, 300, 400 quid down the fucking.
Did you keep your receipt?
Yeah.
I mean, a complete lack of any detail in the stand as well, or is that because you're driving, you're just qualifying possibly?
It could be. Oh, there you go. Current qualifying position 5th. So, fucking hell, there's actually somebody who's qualified behind me.
So does it use that? Is it hold forward to accelerate? Is it?
Yeah. So push up to accelerate.
And what happens if you let go? Have you got to keep it held? Have you got to keep it?
Let's have a look. Oh, it looks like it. Yeah, it doesn't slow down, but it doesn't accelerate anymore.
Right. Yeah, look at wee Bob's just remarked. Look at your rear view mirror. That's useful.
Yeah. Right, I tell you what, I think I've qualified for this.
For authenticity, but do we really? Is there any real need to have these big bars across the front of the windscreen? But does that mean they have to render less graphics, possibly? So maybe it would give you a bit.
It could be. No,
Could be, yeah.
I pressed escape, hoping that it would take me to the race, but it hasn't. I'm still on. Oh, fucking hell. So I'm still. If I actually start the game, I've got to start the whole fucking qualifying thing again.
That was where the detail turned up to maximum as well.
Yeah, that was detail high. So yeah, this is as detailed as the graphics get. I mean, you could turn the detail down a bit and get a bit more speed, but trust me, it makes no fucking difference. There you go, qualifying record 210 mph. Now, I doubt I was actually doing 210 mile an hour, but I mean, it certainly didn't look like I was. It looked like I was doing about 30.
You'd think that the whole essence of the film was about speed. So, you'd think they could have come up with something a bit better than this.
Although I think the whole essence of the film was, isn't Tom Cruise truly fucking wonderful? That's one of the reasons why I never went near it.
And again, what they've done here is they're only using a tiny little bit of the screen. And
mind you, with this, you sort of feel glad about that, because imagine how slow this would be running if you had the full screen. Yeah.
But then there's plenty of games. There was plenty of games like what was that one that I didn't like? It was one of the games that you picked in the video that we put down. Games that you need to play that you probably don't think are worth playing.
Power Drone.
Power Drone was it called?
Yeah, Power Drone. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that had similar graphics and that was like silky smooth.
That was infinitely faster than this. And of course, with that, the entire track was all rendered through vector graphics, and it's a million times faster than this. And with this, I think it's only the trackside objects that are actually vectors. Well, actually, no, I'll tell a lie, the cars are vectors in this as well. But at the moment, there aren't any other cars on the track. It is just me.
Because there's not actually that much going on, really, when you look at it. What's it rendering? It's rendering the white lines, a couple of wee buildings at the left-hand side, and a couple of lampposts, and that's about it. Really.
And that is it, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not we're not having a dig at the Amiga, because we know that the Amiga is so much more capable. It's just an absolutely bloody woeful game, and as you say, to actually bundle it with an Amiga, you get that on Christmas Day, and you're wanting Lotus Turbo Esprit Challenge, and you open up this, and that's the only game you've got.
Yeah, exactly. And it's absolutely down to how badly the game has been programmed, because if you were to run this on an Amiga 1200, in fact, no, I didn't. I loaded this up as an Amiga 500, but yeah, if you got it on a 1200, it does run a bit faster, but not much. The real highlight of running this on an Amiga 1200 is that it's so unstable, it usually crashes before you've played it for about 2 minutes. So it spares you the full horror of it.
We actually try that. I mean, I've got an Amiga 1200 behind me, and it's got a wee budget accelerator thing, and it's all interesting to see how it runs on that, if it actually runs at all.
If it runs, I think your Amiga will realise what disk you've put in there, and it will just say, "Oh, fuck you, I'm not running this shit."
But I think I've seen quite enough of that.
Yeah, I've certainly played quite enough of it. So there we go. That is the full horror of
Days of Thunder. Right, okay. Right, we've got 3 to go, so it's my turn. What am I going to pick for myself? Right, well, I'm going to leave that one for you. I'm going to leave that one for you. Right. I've seen
great! I've got 2 more to go, boy.
I've seen this one crop up in some of the comments, so I think we're probably going to upset a few people just for a change. And it's Friday the 13th on the Commodore 64.
Oh yes, yeah. I noticed a few people saying this is good, and I was thinking, just you wait until we get to this one then.
Right, let's see. There were a few. In fact, if you want to look back at the early comments, there were a few guys were saying that they actually thought this was quite good. It might have been Stephen Thornburg. I'm not actually sure. Let me load this up briefly.
Perhaps, thankfully, the comments don't go back all the way. So Yeah, I can't see who it was who was saying that Friday the 13th was good. Well, put it if you look at the people who are actually watching this at the moment, wait for those names to disappear, and you'll think, oh, okay, yeah, it was them who said it.
We'll see who is left. Yeah. Right. Okay. Joystick settings. Yeah. Okay. And then we want to share the screen. Application video. There we go. Oops. I've got to say, I've never actually seen the film. I've never ever watched the film.
The Friday the 13th series is one of my guilty pleasures. I've got all of them apart from the shitty remake that came out a few years ago. So yeah, I've got them from the first one right the way up to and including Jason X. I don't have Freddy versus Jason. I thought that was just too shit for me.
Oh, yeah. I'll put out Michael Myers. He's the Halloween. Halloween's probably my favourite horror film, I think.
Well, the thing I like about the Friday the 13th ones is, especially Part 6, it didn't take itself seriously at all. In Part 6, it's essentially taking the piss out of itself. I mean, it's still like an out-and-out horror film, but there's a lot of like dark humour in there where it's basically sort of like laughing at itself. I do like it for that. I think Part 6 is the best one by quite a distance.
See, yeah, just going back to the Evil Dead, was that... If you watch it now, there's a lot of comedy. Was that intentional, do you think? Or was
yeah. It was a black comedy. They all were. The second one was, I think, more of a comedy than it was a horror film. The first one, it was, I think, sort of... It veered more towards horror than comedy, but it was certainly meant to be like a black comedy. The second one, it was... more of a comedy. The third one, the Armies of Darkness, I didn't mind it. It was nowhere near as good as the first two, and that one was far. I mean, that was turning into like slapstick. That one.
Aye. I mean, I saw it. I don't know what age I would be. About 10 or something, 12 when it first came out, and I remember being up. I went to the pictures to see it, and I was shit scared. I mean, it was like I didn't realise it was a comedy. It was.
No, the first time I saw it, I had no idea it was meant to be a comedy either. When I saw the second one, I was thinking, hang on, no, this is a bit too over the top. This has got to be playing it for laughs. And then I read about the first one. It turned out that was the same as well, but it was veering more towards horror than the second one was.
What was the second one? So the third one was where Ash, the Army of Darkness, he's kind of on his own. It's like there's like knights and that kind of stuff, isn't there?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, he's gone back in time and that.
What was the second one then? I'm trying to remember. What was it?
Well, the second one was sort of a remake of the first one, but after about the first 20 minutes, maybe half hour, it then carries on from when the original one left off.
I think that's what.
But it's still all set in that cabin in the woods. It's still all set there.
Mm-hmm. I think that's what I'll need to do at the weekend. Watch all three of them again. I think it's been a long time since I've watched them.
Well worth watching. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Right, enough of that. So Friday the 13th, Paramount Pictures Corporation. You and 9 friends are spending the summer holidays. You spot the mistake. Hoyle days.
Yeah, the Hoyle days. Yes, that's right.
Bear in mind, this is a full price game. Crystal Lake Holiday Camp, miles away from civilization, unaware that Jason Voorhees, is that his name? Is it?
Yeah, Jason Voorhees. Yeah.
That's a faulty. Is this based in the film, by the way?
Well, sort of. The thing is, in this, Jason Voorhees is always disguised as someone else in the camp, which never happens in any of the 10 fucking films made, you know.
Right, Filthy Girl close to the camp. At midnight on the first day, while unpacking, you notice a blood-stained mask, and with horror, you realise that Jason is waiting. Okay. So once the idea of this terrified, you must protect your friends from the marauding Jason and finally dispose of him before he disposes of you. Is it loading again? Is it? Now you've got Kenny Everett, you've got Bill Gates, you've got the one in the middle looks like one of the Cluedo pieces, you know, with the wee Kenny Paul.
Yeah. It's funny you say that though. That Jerry King character. I remember the first time I played this, I straight away thought, "Oh, it's Kenny Everett."
I've played it, Kenny Everett, yeah. I can't think of anybody. You've got a guy at the bottom right.
Well, Stuart Palmer looks like Herbie Hancock. Yeah, it's what a mixture.
And you've got an eyeless, I don't know, Pamela Anderson on the left, Wendy Watson. So they are the actual characters that were in it, were they?
Yeah, remembering the names of the characters that's not my strong point.
Right, okay, how do we... Yeah, Miss Scarlet, she looks like she's turned her head at 180 degrees there.
Yeah, should be in The Exorcist rather than this. I don't know about graphics by Picasso, more like graphics by Picasso. I can't lay claim to that line. I nicked that straight out of Derek and Clive.
Start all time with axe. No. Right, okay. Well, that's Jerry. Can you find and kill Jason before he can kill you? Jerry has a taste for adventure. He would never refuse to help anyone, and as a natural leader, he uses his combination of strength and intelligence with great success. What is his hidden weakness? Let's press the fire button and find out. Oh, bloody hell, right?
Yep.
Right, so what am I trying to do here? Did I just wander about?
Well, you can leave the room. There's a door to the top or the side there, so you can exit. I mean, obviously you're in the church at the moment, so you exit out. If you exit through the top there, you will hear these occasional screams. That means that Jason has killed one of the other people at the camp.
So we're possibly missing a trick. We're not having the sound. If I turn the sound up a wee bit, let's see if we can get some. Oh, gee, right, okay.
Yeah, maybe not quite so.
Right, yeah.
The music is quite grating.
Right, so I've picked up. Is that an arrow?
I forget what it is, but I think it's meant to be a shovel of some kind. But anyway, yeah, obviously, if you do find Jason, you can use that.
What's the purpose of the barbells at the bottom?
I think that's your strength meter. When that gets to zero, you're dead.
So what am I doing here? I'm just walking about trying to find Jason so we can kill him.
Yeah, you find him by you walk up to any of the other campers, and you basically have to bash him over the head.
How do you know if it's Jason, or does it turn into Jason when you...
Yeah, it turns into a sort of like black outlined figure, and that's Jason. And then basically you just got to try and there he is. There, that's him.
What, with the black?
Yeah. So if you can hit him several times, then you'll have. If you do that, you'll have essentially completed the game. So that character there with the green hair and that is Jason in disguise. So you've got to keep looking for her. But you will need a weapon of some kind. So you've got one. It's showing in your weapons there.
Whoa, it's getting scary now.
Well, because it's now playing Bach.
Was that clock actually changed? No, it's still
I
think, yeah.
And you're not going to have that sort of detail in this game.
Well, I'll give a bonus point for some decent music, albeit we've just wrapped around.
Yeah, I think you need to be going like up and down a bit more to see what the area. I mean, it's not a large area you're in.
No, I have noticed. The music, even in Neil, how you doing, buddy? The music's completely doesn't really go with the gameplay, does it?
No, even though they kept saying in the sort of like blurb and everything for the game that the music was written for each area. So that looks like the person you're trying to follow. Yeah, so you press fire, you sort of like bash them over the head sort of thing, and it will eventually turn into Jason because you know that's who that is.
Bloody hell. That was impressive.
Yeah, that was someone else being killed. So okay, it looks
How did
like.
he get killed if I'm chasing
Oh, hang
Jason?
on,
We
hang
don't
on.
know.
There's two characters. I just noticed. Yeah, there's two characters with green hair. One's a bloke, and one is a girl. That's the bloke you're chasing. It's the girl with the green hair you got to find.
How do you know that? Oh, is it showing you at the bottom? No.
Yeah. Were they not getting weapons out in red heat? Well, it looked like they were getting something out anyway.
But it's not her, so I'm looking for the girl. So the girl that's pictured at the bottom left.
Yeah. You saw earlier on that she was the black outline character, and then you saw it change into that sprite there, so you know it's her you're looking for.
Right, got you. She's going round killing, so that's 2 down so far then, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how many screens there are. I don't think there's that many, really, is there?
No, it's not a huge amount. Yeah, you're constantly wrapping around again. I think that's the third time you walk past that pitchfork. He's usually either in the church or in his hut.
Right, okay, so we'll go in here then.
So there's one of the dead bodies.
Was there? I missed that.
Yeah, at the bottom there.
Yeah, I thought that was a weapon. I'm trying to pick it up there. Oh, wait a minute, can we go down the bottom here? I think we can.
Yep.
We can, right. So this is effectively the game, you just meander.
Yeah, this is it. This is the whole thing.
Until you eventually find...
Yeah, until you eventually find him, and then you try and, fucking basically smash his head in with whatever weapon you've got.
It doesn't even give you any indication as to where she actually is in, does it?
No, you ain't got a clue.
So you just... What was that? No, that's a...
That's, I think that's where, yeah, that's not his hut, that's where, like the camping,
sort of accommodation type thing.
Yeah, that sort of area.
So, but on the window, they actually look like windows rather than doors, don't they?
What's that, sorry?
They actually look like windows rather than doors. The things that you're going through.
Well, yeah, because you can see they're still part of the floor. It's showing in front of him. There he is there.
Yeah, right, let's chase him. Where the hell did I go?
Right, yeah, where are you? Oh, there you are.
I don't know what happened here. Right, listen, I think I've seen quite enough of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's deserving of its place on this list. I don't know what the people who are commenting on the video who like this game are smoking, but I'm sure it's not entirely legal.
I've got to say that game is absolutely terrifying. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Not for the use that was intended. Right, we've got 2 more to go. Right, okay, I'll give this one a go, then you can play the very last one.
Right.
The second last one is Give My Regards to Broad Street. Have you actually played this game before?
Yes, yeah, I've played this. I did a review of it not that long ago, actually. I think it was about maybe a year ago.
I'll let you play that one away, once you can play it.
Oh, sorry, what's that?
I'll let you play this one since you know what you're doing.
Well, okay.
If that's alright.
Right, so let's bring up the old emulator.
No, we've not actually looked at Crap to the Future, Neil. I mean, there's... Yeah. I've never actually played any of the Back to the Future games. Fantastic film, but I mean, I think just the graphics alone looked awful, and I know they weren't sort of the highest kind of reviewed games in the world, so I never ever tried them.
Right, this is up and running.
Right, okay, so this is giving my regards to Broad Street, which was based on a film. Was it Paul McCartney that was in this?
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Have you seen it before, no?
I've not seen the film, but I have played the game. So the idea is Paul McCartney, he's playing someone else in the film anyway, and he's recording an album, and it's going to be something absolutely fantastic. And he's attacked in the studios, and he's hit over the head, and he now has amnesia, and he can't remember any of the songs and that he was working on. So he has to now try and find the fragments of the song that he was recording. Otherwise, whoever it is that came into the studio and sold it, they're going to pass it off as their song and make millions from it.
That was actually the genuine plot for the film.
Yeah.
And
I'll also point out this is by Argus Press Software. This is Paul Clancy again. He did Alien.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, so here we go. So you'll see that I couldn't move there because I was using the wrong keys. So you're in this completely uncontrollable car. It plays a bit like Miami Vice in that regards. You've also got to get to the right place at the right time. So you look at the bottom there, you'll see that whoever that is, they're going to be at Hyde Park at 8:32. Well, that time's already been and gone, so that's not telling me anything useful. So you've got to get to particular underground stations. So at the moment we're on Edgware Road. It's all around London. I mean, it kind of helps that I know my way around London quite well, but
exactly.
Oh yeah, it's not exactly an accurate representation of London, but the easiest way of doing it is to just stay on this road here. That car's about to crash into us, and that means it takes you back to a fucking restart point. I think it takes you right the way back to the recording studios where you started.
Abbey Road again, yeah.
Yeah. So Abbey Road, I know that area quite well because it's pretty close to Lord's cricket ground.
You're not driving in reverse. It's hard to actually see if that car...
Well, no, believe it or not, this is actually going... the car looks like it's been drawn backwards. This is actually the front of the car there. So that's not the main road I want. We are currently on Edgware Road.
It reminds me a bit like Crazy Taxi, the arcade game with all the fun elements stripped right out of it. I mean...
Well, I'm not familiar with Crazy Taxi, and judging by that description, I'm quite glad about that. So we're on the main road here again. Yeah, Lancaster Gate. So she's at the Elephant and Castle at 10 o'clock, but it's already 10:04, so I've missed that. So it gives you like virtually no time at all to get to the destination. It tells you where they are at the exact second that they turn up.
He's telling you hit fire. What does that mean?
Well, what you do, I'll show you that. Right, if we get to a
because it's now 10:20 and it's not updated itself.
Yeah. So we're at Lancaster Gate here. So if you press fire, you get out of the car at the tube station entrance, but there's no one here. So he just wanders around for a bit and then gets back in the car and buggers off.
What's that flashing thing? Is that like a dog jobby or something?
Yeah, the dog is giving its review of the game. But, I mean, this is Holland Park is not far from where I am, but again, I've already missed it. You know, it's saying Holland Park 10:31, but it's already 10:40. So you've got no chance of actually getting to the destination where they are. The only way you have any chance of doing it is if you.
Right, so it comes up when it basically comes up with a name when it gets to that time.
Yeah. So the only way is if you know your way around London and you know what lines the underground stations are on. You can then follow it on from where it says they are and try and get to the next station before they turn up. And then as soon as they appear, you've got to press fire and just hope like fuck you've pressed fire in the 1 second you've got in order to actually be there at the right time. So, yeah, the timing that you need is, well, ludicrously tight. But I've basically shown you everything that the game is. It's driving around an uncontrollable car around London, and you've got to be at the right place at the right time. So it's basically it's Miami Vice for people who didn't think Miami Vice, the game, was frustrating enough to begin with.
It absolutely lacks any fun at all. Who actually this? I mean, seriously, do you not realise that video games are meant to be entertaining? You're just...
well, obviously it eluded old Paul Clancy when he came up with this one. So he's also the guy who wrote Alien, which I do like. But I know two other games that he did, this being one of them, and they're both shite.
To be fair, he was always on a loser saying, look, you could make a game about some horror film, or you could make a game about Paul McCartney having to drive around stations in London. You know what I mean? Seriously.
Well, he also did the conversion of Legend of Cargo, which the less said about that, the better.
I did watch your video the other day about that one, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, he's done one game that I think's good, but I know a lot of people, including you, who don't rate it. And then he's done two absolute fucking stinkers. And I think after this, I think he may have given up the ghost because I don't know of any other games he wrote. But yeah, here we go. I mean, it is.
It's like a Bruce Forsyth at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, it's just so fucking dreary and boring and utterly pointless. Was there actually any music with it? Did you not get some decent? Yeah, the music plays throughout. It's a really crap rendition of Band on the Run.
Not dearie me, at least we said about that one.
Yeah. If Wings are providing the music to a game, you're onto a loser.
I think on that bombshell, I think Panther UK has pretty much summed up that game. Tesco value Grand Theft Auto. Yeah.
If it even manages to reach those lofty heights, yeah.
Yeah, utterly woeful. Well, sorry, Chris, I'm going to let you play the very last one because you know how to play it. It's the stinker that is Dick Tracy. Now, I've never played this one, but I take it in good terms that it is a stinker. Is this the Amiga one, is it?
Well, it could be either version because they're both absolute shite, but I'm going to put on the 64 version. So, right.
Just while you're messing about with that, was there any good film tie-ins? I mean, I was never really a fan of tie-in films because I think we touched on it before we actually went live. Ocean, they are obviously the kings of the film tie-ins. Every game was just little mini sub-games. And I just found them utterly pointless, but they proved to be hugely popular, which is why they kept producing. I mean, you had the Untouchables. I think the one decent one, which again I didn't really like, was RoboCop.
Well, I never played that because, the thing with RoboCop is that I thought that was going to be a conversion of the arcade coin-op, and I couldn't stand the coin-op game, so I never bothered with it on the 64 for that reason. As far as there actually being any decent film tie-in games, The closest I can think of to one that was good was Platoon. And again, I mentioned it in the last video we did, when we were doing the Sid tunes. I mean, I chose that Sid tune as one of my 5, and it was, the music was the best thing about it. The game was okay, but it wasn't brilliant.
Stevens mentioned Ghostbusters. Were you a fan of Ghostbusters?
I found it really, really repetitive. I just hated the way that once you selected where you were going on the map, you were then sitting there in that car, and and unless you had, well, sometimes you didn't even have that vacuum cleaner thing, so you couldn't do anything, even if you did encounter any of the ghosts on the way. So it just got really fucking boring. ZX Renew has just done one there that's is interesting. The Great Escape. Now, I don't know if that was actually a tie-in on the actual film. I mean, the game is exactly the same premise, so it could well be. But yeah, I did actually quite like that. That wasn't bad at all. Great Escape. I had it on. Well, obviously, I had the 64 version. The 64 version plays an absolute crawl. The Spectrum version is by far the better version. But yeah, that's not a bad game actually. That one.
No, I didn't actually realise it was on the C64. Yeah, I'm just trying to rack my brain. I think any decent tie-in. I mean, there was a game called the Blues Brothers, which it was a platform game. It had absolutely nothing to do with the game other than the sprites. The Goonies, that's an interesting one. And I've never seen the Goonies, and I've never really played the video game. That was an early C64 game, wasn't it?
Yeah, I knew someone who had it. I couldn't get into it at all, but yeah, I wasn't a big fan of it. I've played worse games than it, but.
I know the Untouchables. I think that was another one. I'll tell you one game or one film time which was pretty good was the Batman the movie on the Amiga.
Yeah, I had that. It was okay. I wouldn't say it was absolutely fantastic, but yeah, it had its moments. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, I've got to say though, the driving. I've never managed to get a game to load even on an emulator. The driving section was fantastic.
Yeah, that was the only thing I didn't like was the way that you had to, use the batarang things in order to actually go around 90 degrees. That I found a bit annoying, but other than that, I thought it was all right.
The update was really impressive. Really, like somebody's Milfy's mentioned the Rocket Ball. Yeah, I mean that Rocket Ball was one of my guilty pleasures. It's an utterly fantastic game. I know you love it as well.
Yeah, actually I do like it, but it is fucking difficult. I don't know if I'd actually call it a film tie-in though, because I mean, okay, it was clearly based on Rollerball, but
on the sport that was in the film, really.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a tenuous one, I think, as far as actually being a tie-in. I noticed a little bit earlier, apparently UK, there's always someone who mentions this, Rambo. Now,
we were talking about that earlier, actually.
Yeah, I mean, the music in Rambo, absolutely superb. Only an idiot would say anything else. The music in it was just fantastic. The game, I just thought, utter shite. I mean, you could complete the game in about 5 minutes. It
was one of the first Ocean games that I can recall that had they came up with a technique where they had the sprite and then they drew around it with a black outline.
Oh yeah, the high resolution overlay that it had.
That was a nice. I mean, it looked nice. If you look at things like Target Renegade, it was really, really quite impressive looking. But the Rambo was just tiny. He looked absolutely titchy. It just looked ridiculous.
Yeah, the ridiculous thing about the Rambo sprite is he was as wide as he was tall, so it made him look like, it was just like a real sort of cartoon look about him.
And the knives that he flung were like the size of him, the same size of him.
Yeah.
I mean, Robert's saying there, it was ZX Renew, it's a poor man's commando, yeah. I loved Commando, but I wasn't a fan of Rambo at all. I just I wasn't a fan of it at all. But I did see somebody complete it. As you say, you could complete it in literally 5 minutes. Was there any more than one level, or was there multiple?
Well, yeah, it was sort of split up into, was it 1, 2? I think there was something like 4 sort of sub levels, but they all played very, very similarly to each other. Just occasionally you were on foot, and occasionally you were in a helicopter, and that was it.
Yeah, pretty poor. But I know some people liked it.
Mind you, compared to this shit fest that I'm about to play here, Rambo was an absolute gaming masterpiece.
So this is Dick Tracy. Never seen the film, but I've heard it shit.
Yeah, I've never seen the film at all, and I have no wish to. The first of the live burps. I'm amazed we haven't had any more of those. But right, well, all I can say is brace yourself. So, right, let's get the obvious thing out of the way first of all. The enemies walk into your fist, even though you are standing there just holding it out, and it kills them.
So they stand still and they'll just walk in and disappear?
Yeah, well, occasionally one will manage to actually walk through you, but yeah, this is it. Yeah, so I am just standing there holding the fist out, and they're walking into it, and it's taking them out. There's also a time limit, so I can't hang around. I think I've already wasted enough time to ensure that I can't actually do this level.
See that, yeah.
The other thing is, you have no idea how lucky you are that you can't hear the music that is playing in the background. It's putting the SID chip through the kind of trauma that it would never actually be able to recover from. I think if you actually played this on actual 64 hardware, your SID chip would just refuse to work afterwards. There's also, if you look at the bottom there, you see those icons as my time ran out.
Yeah.
So I'll continue this fantastic game. So you see the icons there. So you have the icon for the fist, and then there's one for the handgun and the Tommy gun. In the Amiga version, yeah, you can pick up those extra weapons. In the 64 version, they don't exist.
You're joking. So you can see them on the screen, but you never actually get to pick them up.
You never get them. The weapons just do not show up ever.
That's a bit like having Rambo and you only get to hit them with a frying pan or something. I mean, what's the point of that?
Yeah.
So you don't play Space Mariner, that doesn't cycle through weapons. I don't believe that for 1 second. So
you press every single key on the keyboard, but yeah, it never actually changes the selector. I mean, the weapons are supposed to appear on the ground and you pick them up, but they never appear. They're not there. But as it is, the fact that all you have to do is just stand there and hold your fist out and they walk into it and they're killed anyway means you don't need extra weapons. You know, you are...
It reminds me a bit like a poor man's Narc. Have you ever played the arcade version of Narc?
Yeah, I can't stand Narc.
No, it's not one of... I think it's Eugene Jarvis, actually. It's not one of his finest moments.
I didn't know it was one of his. But yeah, it's a dreadful game. I think the 64 conversion of it has one of the most laughably awful SIDs I've ever heard. But this, fucking hell.
It's a multi-load game. It's a multi-load game as well.
Oh yeah, and you know, clearly you can tell it's a multi-load because as you can see from the visuals, it's absolutely pushing the 64 to its limits. You know, there's no way you could render all of that like in a single load game. Come on.
You know, if I'd known it was Titus from the beginning, I would have known. I mean,
well, yeah, I mean that's the big giveaway, isn't it? You see Titus there, and you know straight away it's going to be utter shite. I mean, did Titus ever release a game that was anything other than utter shite?
To be fair, I think one of their last games, well, they did do Blues Brothers, but they also did Crazy Cars 3, which is absolutely fantastic game.
Well, the annoying thing about Crazy Cars 3 on the 64 is I can't play it because it uses interlaced graphics, and that does my head in.
Ah, right, yeah.
But I mean, I can maybe give the Amiga version a try. But Crazy Cars, the first two games, whether you're playing the 64 or the Amiga, they're both shite anyway. Okay, they're not as shite as this. This was a game which amazingly didn't appear in my Supreme Shit Game database playlist, but the only reason it didn't is because I hadn't started that playlist when I reviewed this.
I think the problem with a lot of film tie-ins is they think that the film license alone is going to sell the game, and sadly, that's probably true. People,
I think it was certainly the case with this, because this really does look and play like a game that had about 3 days work done on it, and then they just said, "Oh fuck it, release it like that," you know.
Aye. We haven't included the weapons. Fuck it, they'll never notice.
Yeah, so no one's going to notice, you know. No one's going to play the game for long enough to actually care, you know. So I've actually got through level 1. So you get this amazing cutscene here.
So presumably they're all baddies, are they?
I haven't got the faintest fucking clue.
Why is Jimmy Hill in this? I don't know what.
Yeah, I think that's supposed to be the mayor or something. In the Amiga version, there's a few cut screens where you see him. So then you get to the second level where the background is exactly the same colour as your coat. So when you're walking around here, you just look like this disembodied head that's floating around. Yeah, you know.
There's not even a digitised photo of Madonna or anything, is there? The shit I came at any point, no.
I mean, I can't believe I'm sitting here playing this fucking thing again. After I did the review, I vowed, that's it, I'm never even looking at this game again. And here I am playing it. For fuck's sake, what were they thinking?
I mean, the game, apart from the background graphics, it's exactly the same. You walk along from left to right, hold out your hand, they walk in, disappear.
Yeah,
that's it.
That is the entire gameplay summed up there.
Yeah. It's just they've stuck on the graphics, the background graphics, and that is it. There's no gameplay. It actually makes Highlander look like quite a deep beat 'em up.
I think this game makes every single one we've covered look great.
Well, you've not disappointed me with the overall choice of number 1. I mean, that's awful, isn't
it? Yeah, I mean this must have been a joke, surely. They can't have seriously released this and thinking, this is a great a great title. We've got to actually keep this. I'm not doing even playing it anymore. There you go, right? You've seen quite enough of it.
I mean, Ghosts and Goblins was a single load. That's a single load game. There is. I mean, Ghosts and Goblins had I don't know how many levels, about 6 levels or something. Different graphics, sound a lot. That was just walking from left to right, holding your hand out. Why is it a multi-load? You know what I mean? It's.
I mean, I genuinely played shoot 'em up construction kit games that absolutely piss all over that. And of course, they charged full price for that. That was a 10 quid game. In fact, I think that was another one where they did charge a bit of a premium on it. So I think that might have been about 12 quid.
Really? Some crackers there, honestly. That was Dick Tracy. I mean, I'm sure there was probably plenty more. Yeah. Listen, guys, I think that's Chris and I drawing this video to a close. Thank you very, very much to everybody that's actually managed to endure and stay to the very, very end. It was unannounced, but Chris and I always enjoy doing these videos, and we always do appreciate it. It wouldn't be as much fun if we were just sitting here with nobody watching. If we're going to suffer, you guys need to suffer and watch it with us.
Yeah, I've said that in a few of my videos. If I'm suffering playing this, I'm going to make you suffer and watch it all. Yeah.
So yeah, thanks to you, Chris, for joining me as always.
No worries.
I know Panther UK is in the stream at the moment. You have been enjoying. There've been a lot of positive comments about the two Sid shows that we've put out. I think there's definitely going to be a third one on the cards. Would you agree with that? You think?
Well, I would certainly agree with it, and I highly suspect I'm not the only one.
So yeah, that will be in the cards probably in the next couple of weeks. So it just remains for me to say thank you very much for watching, guys. Have a good night, and until the next one. See you later.